This episode is brought to you by MailChimp. Gotta love MailChimp. It is the best email marketing software you can get. It's used by over 7 million businesses, and 10 billion emails are sent with this service each month. Can you believe that? It's amazing. Now, if you look at the What's the Tea website, you can also see that we are avid users of MailChimp, even before they became a sponsor. Now, if you have less than 2,000 people on your email list, MailChimp is completely free. Yes. Now go to MailChimp.com. That's MailChimp.com, baby, and sign up today. This episode is brought to you by Sharon Sherrilike, the owner of, get ready for it, boobsforqueens.com. and dragskins.com. Now, you all know boobsforqueens.com from RuPaul's Drag Race. Honey, a many of Queen have sauntered down that runway wearing the boobsforqueens.com. And of course, it became a talking point on our show. Now, Boobs for Queens is the original silicone breastplate created in 1996 to give the illusion of having real breasts. Yes. And drag skins, they're a stretchy bodysuit with a zipper up the back. You know, it's really sexy and really kinky. I shouldn't say kinky, but I'm going to say it anyway. Now, for all you queens out there who are tired of shaving your body, Drag Skins covers it all. It's a bodysuit, and it's this long sleeve bodysuit, full-footed. It even has toenails. Visit boobsforqueens.com and dragskins.com today.
What do you want? What's the tea? Tell me what's the tea? What's the tea? Tell me what's the tea? What's the tea? Tell me what's the tea? What's the tea? Tell me what's the tea?
Hi. It's RuPaul Wants the Tea with Michelle Visage.
Hola.
Hey, kitty girl.
Hey, kitty girl.
Oh, my goodness. We've got a great show for y'all.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff. But before we get to the show, something's been on my mind.
Tell us, girl.
Well, I, at this point, I'm a reality show veteran. Several many shows.
And Skin Wars now.
There's Skin Wars.
RuPaul
There's
Drag Race.
It used to be Drag
You and Pit Crew.
Oh, Pit Crew. Well, that's a web series.
It's still a reality thing.
It's true. It's
Candidly
true.
Nicole, you were on.
Yes, and just over and over. But everybody's idea of reality, I guess reality is in the eye of the beholder.
Amen.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've been hearing a lot about that's been driving me crazy about some of our girls and some other people is that nobody wants to take responsibility for what comes out of their mouths.
Right.
And you hear the old adage, it was the editing. I looked bad in the editing.
Right.
Here's the thing. I've got many a thing that pops out of this mug, and I take complete ownership of it.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't say it, no matter what the context, it wouldn't be coming out your mouth.
Right. That's true.
So don't blame it on the edit.
Well, what's funny about that is, I'm one of the producers on RuPaul's Drag Race. There's several producers, but I'm one of the producers. We never edit anyone to make them look bad or to shape the story. What we will do is we have edited people to not look as bad
or look better.
We edit them to look better. You're absolutely right. Because we need the audience to be rooting for them, for the show to work. For people to tune in every week, we need for the audience to root for them. But if the audience is not rooting for them, we really don't have a show. And we don't need bad guys. It's people have this misconception that that's what reality show producers do. I'm sure on some shows maybe they do. We don't do that on our show.
It's not that we do it. It's that it naturally happens.
It happens. So you get a bunch of queens in a room, honey.
That's what it is.
Put $100,000 for their face.
And some alcohol.
And some alcohol.
There's going to be a villain.
There's going to be a villain. And there will be blood. Yes.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So just like you said, I know that on Drag Race, there's absolutely no reason that we would need to edit somebody into looking like a villain.
Right. So, but you're right. There have been several queens, not only just on Drag Race, but on the other show I do too, who have come out and they say, I was edited bad.
I see it on every show, baby, not just ours or ones that you're involved with.
They say that on all shows?
So many. I've seen so many where they said that they're victim of editing. And The only thing that I can see a victim of editing is if you look really terrible and nobody looked out for you. But it's not what you said. It's not what you did. It's just sometimes maybe the way you looked, it wasn't your best angle.
Physical, right.
Yeah,
yes.
but that's it. That's the only way you could really be a victim of editing, like a victim of a bad angle or a victim of clothing, a bad, but never, ever. I know from our show, they go out of the way to make me... they use all my best lines because I'll throw a million out there and they go, oh, this is the one. But people have to understand that on our show in particular, on elimination days, we're shooting, 12 hours for a 20-minute segment.
Yeah.
So they're going to take the best, not the worst. They're not looking for stuff to make people look like shit.
Right.
They're looking for stuff that's going to make people go, yeah.
Exactly. And, listen, and if it came out of your mouth, then you said it, But what really doesn't work is if you go into a reality show setting and try to produce yourself.
That's the worst.
You absolutely have to be natural. You have to be yourself, because if you try to produce yourself and there are producers on the show, something's going to clash, and it's going to... Actually, it happened like that with, who's the girl who smoked the weed, Laganja,
yeah.
Which,
all of them?
Yeah.
I work with them on a daily basis. All of them.
But the weed is part of her platform.
Laganja,
It's her story.
She tried to produce herself.
She tried to produce herself in a way that she did that voice. You called her out.
Oh,
She's like,
mama girl, yeah.
You can do the thing.
Yes.
How do you do the roll? You roll the...
I'm Spanish.
Oh.
We roll
do it
our
again.
R's.
Say it. Okay.
Oh,
I'm still trying to do the you could you
have to do the Alyssa Edwards thing with it.
Yes. Well, all the girls come with a little sort of shtick
and that's great.
And that's great. But when they try to control what they think the audience is going to see of them, it clashes with the natural flow of things, and they come off looking
like shit.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. I see it all the time on Celebrity Big Brother in the UK. So these celebrities go in there and they go, I'm going to do this because this is what the people are going to want to vote for.
Right.
This is the way they're going to want to see me. When in reality, it's the opposite.
Right.
If Laganja, when she did drop that nonsense, we saw the sweet little kid under there.
Right.
And that's what we love.
And then you can root for this person.
Of course.
Then you can root because you see the humanity, you
vulnerability.
see the vulnerability, all the things that allow us to fall in love with a person.
Yes. And she's not the only one. I won't be singling her out, but it happened, we called Sharon out on it. We called Vendela out. I mean, there's so many that we call out on it. And again, it goes back to the thing where we say we want to see more of who they are. That goes along with the fact that we need you to not produce yourself, in other words.
Right.
Stop trying to be what you think the audience is going to want you to be, and start being who you are.
I see that every time in the auditions. We get these audition tapes, and the kids they all look exactly alike. Everybody is doing the exact same thing because they're doing what they think I want to see from them.
Correct.
And it's the opposite is true. I want to see who you are.
Right.
And then once I see who you are, I can go, oh, you know what? This one will fit with that one and that on a natural human level. Is it that one will fit there? This one will fit there. But if you're doing this thing like, hey, Mr. I will cut, this is the one line you hear in every single one. I will cut a bitch.
Right.
And, and this, and I will do this. And it's like, you know what? Just be yourself.
They don't know how yet.
Yeah,
because they grew up, especially the young ones, and this is not meant to be negative or rude, but because they've spent their childhood, I'm talking 13, 14, 15, 16, watching these kids, come on, season 6, let's get sickening! Blah. Because they watch that, or I will cut you 22 inches! Because and we love that,
right.
But because they haven't grown yet, there's no wisdom, they're young, and there's only no wisdom because of years.
Yeah.
They don't know. So they think, I am going to do that and I'm going to do it better.
Right.
So they just don't know who they are. So it's almost impossible to be who they are.
And I actually venture to say that all people who watch audition reels or see people audition are seeing the exact same thing. I think that people have to trust themselves to know that whatever you do is going to be the right thing to do, and let the chips fall where they may in an audition.
I think people try so hard to be what they think the hiring people want, that they don't understand that. And I fall victim of that too, because I want it so bad that when I audition, I just want to be everything they want me to be.
Right.
And sometimes maybe trying too hard is the downfall.
Well, but I always think of it like this. Whenever I go on an audition, I always think that of it like being an artist is going to paint a picture, and they have an array of colors that they can choose from. And say I'm the color purple. All
right, Oprah.
Yeah. You told Harpo to hit me.
You are so stupid.
And so, I walk in, I'm the color purple, but they're not using the color purple today. That don't mean that they don't like the color purple.
Yes.
Everybody loves
That means they're looking
purple.
for blue.
And they're looking for a blue, they're looking for a yellow, they're looking for
Cerulean.
an orange. A cerulean, exactly. But that doesn't mean they don't like the color purple.
But that's a big concept.
But when they are going to make a painting they'll think of me because I was the best color purple that I could be. So that's the thing. And people have to remember in auditions, be yourself.
It's hard.
Well, whenever anybody asks me about advice in living, I always say 3 words: know thyself. No, is that 3 words?
Yeah, thyself's one
know
word.
Thyself.
Is thyself 1 word or 2? 2. 1?
One.
1. So that's 2 words.
Okay, 2 words.
Know thyself.
Because that's what it's all about, and it took me years to understand that. I cannot watch old videotapes of myself, not video, on YouTube. They have things of me from 1982
I love
on
watching
there.
that.
I cannot watch it because all of my 20s was spent trying to figure out what other people wanted me to do.
Yes, but that's how everybody's 20s are spent. And that's how everybody's 20s should be spent. Because by the time you get to the late 20s and the early 30s, you should have gone through all that nonsense.
Right.
So you're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And you learn how to do it.
But that's the lesson. Listen, if you're going to be auditioning for a reality show, if you're going to be, even if you're auditioning for a play or a TV show, even if you're going out on a date with someone and you want them to like you, you have to be yourself. Be yourself and let the chips fall where they may.
Agreed.
All right, moving on, kiddies. What's the Tea was recently featured on iTunes podcast Best of 2014, which is quite an honor. I mean, the podcast really just hasn't even been going on for a year yet, and we've got a best of with iTunes. Love that. So in celebration of that, instead of having a guest, we're going to take you through some of our best moments throughout the year. And then leave you with some beauty tips on shimmer, how to use it, how to incorporate it into your life, sonnies. This episode is brought to you by MailChimp. Now, if you're not familiar with MailChimp, you've got to go to MailChimp.com because if you're in sales, baby, this is the tool you need. MailChimp is the best email marketing software you can get. Mark my words, Miss Thing. MailChimp is used by over 7 million businesses and 10 billion emails are sent out with this service each month. 10 billion! Now, if you look at the What's the Tea website, you can also see that we are avid users of MailChimp. Now, this is way before they even became a sponsor, so you know it's good. Now, if you have less than 2,000 people on your email list, MailChimp is completely free. Now, it also offers a service where you can view how many people saw your email. You can also chronicle how many people actually clicked on the links in your email. I mean, if you're in sales, this is the ticket, okay? You need this information so you can move further in what you're doing. Now go to MailChimp.com. That's MailChimp, MailChimp.com, and sign up today. Now, we've had some really incredible guests on What's the Tea, such as Lucian Piani, my songwriting partner, who I've done the past 3 albums with, who is just fabulous. He is one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. And in this clip, we talk about radio. We all grew up with it. And we talk about how it's changing in the modern world and how it will change in the future. Take a listen. I have never really liked listening to the radio because it's so compressed. My ear hears a song that's already been compressed when you
mean the
made
music or vocal?
The music. The song has already been compressed as the record or whatever it is, and then you put it on the radio, and that's compressed even more.
Correct.
So the sound of that sort of tinny, white, noisy sound of music. I don't like the way that sounds.
If you have a good engineer, that won't be the case. Most people cheap out.
I have a good gynecologist.
Well, I had that too.
Yeah.
And mine also doubles as a sound engineer.
Really?
They hear things like a canyon
It's
when
like,
they're in
hello,
down.
hello.
Exactly. So we'd use a tuning fork and make sure everything's good to go.
Mine's also my orthodontist.
Really? Oh,
his billboard says we do openings.
Big opening. Thank you, Dr. Zismore.
Right. So, yeah, but do you listen to the radio at all?
Not so much.
Not so
Occasionally.
much. You subscribe to Bob Lefsetz.
Oh,
How do you say
I
that?
was just reading something he wrote today. Yeah.
How do you say his name?
Bob Lefsetz.
Bob Lefsetz. He's
Yeah.
sort of a media forecaster, entertainment forecaster. He has an email list that he sends things out to, and Lucian here subscribes to him, and he forecasts the future of movies or radio and stuff. And what's his take on radio?
Oh, I think...
It's for poor people. That's what he said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it'll
He
ever
says
go
radio's
away because of that.
for poor people. I think terrestrial radio
But
is
you
for
guys,
poor people.
that's why it'll never go away. The problem is the people with the money that invested in it before are going away. They don't have the money to put in it. The spot loads are much lower. They're cheaper.
What's a spot load?
To pay for a commercial, it used to be X amount of dollars, and you only get a 30-second spot once a day. Now they're doing deals where you pay an eighth of what they used to cost, and you get 10 spots throughout the day, or you buy them. And then not only that, because these monopolies, Clear Channel, CBS Radio, Bonneville, things like that, they own multiple stations, so you not only get for that price one station, you get all 5 stations in the cluster. So it's totally tanked. They're kind of one thought per the entire country is what has taken radio down.
Yeah, no,
they
I
need
agree.
a woman in charge of that shit. That's the problem. No disrespect to the Penis Club. I get it, and I love it, and I've played in it for many
can I join the Penis Club?
You're already in it, girl. You're in both.
One of my favorite queens from my drag race experience is Alaska. Now, Alaska is one of the girls who had auditioned every single time and only made it on, I think, onto the 5th season. She was on the 5th season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Here she is giving advice to the queens who are coming up on season 7.
Retire.
Perfect.
I loved your response too when you said, "What are your feelings toward the girls who have had extensive plastic surgery and physical enhancements?"
Mostly jealousy.
Oh, that hits so close to home with us. Yeah.
my
Totally.
God, I love it because you know how absolutely correct. I love plastic surgery.
Yeah.
I love it. I haven't had any. I've had a little bit, like Botox.
Injections don't
Injections,
count.
that doesn't matter. But I want.
He keeps saying he's going to do a lift. He's not going to get it done.
I am.
Listen,
They
look at
take
me.
your whole face
He's not
off.
gonna do it.
Yes. No, I knew of a girl who went down to Mexico. They took her face off. They scraped off all the old silicone because it was, B grade silicone, and put in new silicone, the good stuff. Funny thing about the Alaska story is that we start talking about Sulka, and then our next guest is Shishi LaRue, who finishes the story, who really fills in all the blanks on the Sulka story. Here is the completed story about Sulka as told by Shishi LaRue. Listen up.
So one of the famous stories about Sulka, she would go to Walgreens and she, those designer imposter.
Of course.
She would buy the designer imposter version of Taboo.
Yeah.
And she would buy every can that they had on the shelf.
Right.
And she would buy it. Well, what she would do is her remade vagina.
Right.
She would take one of those cans of designer
Imposters.
perfume
Yeah.
and she would empty it out into her vagina.
But why?
Because she was afraid that it smelled bad.
She would put perfume inside of her
Designer,
man-made,
yes.
her designer vagina.
Yes.
Would drink up designer
So
imposter.
So she had an imposter vagina, is what she had. She had a designer imposter vagina.
She had a designer vagina with imposter filling.
But why taboo and why?
What do you mean, why taboo? Why not?
I
She
don't
is
know.
taboo.
I mean, it's actually
I
kind of
love
perfect.
it. Yes, it's
but
so
I mean,
poetic.
she just really was self-conscious about that, and she
Does
would
it
literally
smell?
take the can, put the nozzle up and squirt the entire can.
I thought you meant she'd
up
shove
there.
the can up there for dilating.
No. She'd empty the can out into her vagina
Now,
so it didn't smell.
do man-made vaginas get scents? I would think they do in the
I
same
think
way.
that back when
yeah.
I think back when she got hers, it was not really that sophisticated,
Right.
And she probably got it in Tijuana. Yeah. She got lots of things in Tijuana. Like
I want to know about her
hips.
face.
Okay, so she had this face. It was a face that was really. It was a face.
Yes.
It was a big, big face.
It was a look.
It was a big, big face.
Lots of silicone.
But it was like just crazy big.
Oh,
Yeah, I remember it.
Is she not with us anymore?
No, she's
probably
not. And you had to have experienced a close-up encounter with her to really appreciate
During
it.
the daytime?
Well, even at night it was a little jarring. Yeah. So she would go to Tijuana like every 2 years, and
for
she
injections.
Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
She would have to go there. They would cut around the perimeter of her face, drop it off, the face off.
Take the face
off.
Yeah.
Scrape all the old silicone out of the inside of the face.
Yes.
Swear to God.
Swear to God. Put the face back on, sew it up, and then re-inject.
Put more
Why?
in.
Because it would travel? Why?
Because it was going awry.
Yeah.
And it was, silicone is not good.
This next clip is Matthew Anderson, of course, as you know, the genius behind my look for the past 22 years, maybe more. He does my hair, my makeup, all the photographs, and he is the person I spend the most time with on the set of RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, we are together. We are... he's like inside of me the whole time. In this clip, Matthew talks about success and what it means to make a statement and the secret behind the RuPaul monster, plus some inside tea on season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Here's Matthew. There's so many people doing makeup. There's so much makeup out there.
That don't mean it's right.
How do you stand out? How do you make a name for yourself today? If you were a makeup artist today, Matthew Anderson, if you were a young kid starting into it, what would you do? What advice do you have for a young makeup artist?
I don't think I gave myself any escape plan. I didn't have an escape hatch built into my life. It was like I'm fucked if this doesn't work out. It's like, I tried to do retail, and I
did
went,
you?
Yes, because you had to.
Makeup retail?
Any retail. I tried to get jobs. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, thank you so much for coming in. It's like, they don't like me. But I knew, it's like, I feel like I've been oddly groomed to be this hothouse creature.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just the way I was brought up, the way society reacted to me. It's like it was always going to be a make or break. And, one of the biggest things, it's like, what is your talent? And it's like, my talent is to observe and interpret.
Yes.
And whatever comes to hand, whether it's clothing or makeup or photography or
psychology,
Lego, whatever it is, it's like, I
Vibology.
That.
Yes, vibology.
And it's like, in order to be a great creative, you've got to be able to have a really good understanding of what's going on.
Yes.
Either that or be a complete auteur and an asshole.
Yeah.
In that order.
Well, that happens too.
Right. Yes, but I don't know. It's like I don't know who the great makeup artists are at the moment. It's like I see a lot of really good makeup, but for me, most makeup is masturbatory.
Oh, excuse me.
True.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't know what that word means.
Yeah.
She hasn't done it in years.
Oh, sure.
But it was. I see people doing this phenomenal makeup, and it's elaborate, and it's very retouched, and it's glued, and it's enormous. And it's like, but what are you saying?
Right.
And for me, it was never. It's always been being part of a team. It's like I could go off on Ru's face, but it has to be Ru every time. It just can't be my my fantasy. And people's like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do it? It's like, because RuPaul is a specific character, and it's a great character because it has a lot of latitude. I can play with it in quite a lot, but it has to be. Why don't you do with black hair? It's like we might for a
we've done
kick.
RuPaul Red Hot.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
How did that go?
Well,
we loved it, but it's like
I'll be wearing the wig season 7.
Right, but that's the thing with the RuPaul brand. It's like it's it's been a great brand to grow with and play with because there is a lot of latitude in it, but it's very specific.
I think it has grown, Matthew. I think it has grown.
Oh, it does, but it's
you
like,
can't listen to trolls.
But it's for myself though, it's done in a very deliberate way. It's like I know what RuPaul is, and it's like I could never explain to people. It's like, oh, you do RuPaul's makeup. It's like you know what? This man is my friend.
Yeah,
he's been
so much more than
my mentor, and at times my guru, and at times my savior. And it's like what I do for Ru, I do out of love. I have such an enormous. It's like. He trusts me so much, and I can't imagine breaking that trust.
I don't think he'd trust anyone else the way he trusts you.
Oh, no.
It's because this is the funny thing when people, it's like, I'm aware, it's like, you have to love what you're doing. It's like, someone just goes, it's like, some people think, oh, it's fabulous to do RuPaul. It's like, no, it's not a look. It's actually a weird kind of philosophy. I know it sounds really pretentious,
I
but
get
it
it.
actually is. There's a philosophy to the look. There's a way who she is, because she is the girl that came up from the Brewster Project.
Yes.
But she has an arc. She has a storyline that's like, and that's part of my way of working with her is built into it. It's like she is that supermodel. It's like once again, it's like I don't see anyone really coming for RuPaul because no one's.
Well, they try, but they can't.
But they haven't figured out what that is. I haven't. It's a really simple formula.
It is a simple formula, but most people don't really understand. They can't dissect it enough to really make it work.
It's Bugs Bunny and mahogany.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, before we go, I want to talk real quickly about what people can expect in terms of looks for season 7. Now, last season,
have you thought
6,
about it yet, Matthew?
Well,
I have.
Well, season 6 was really this high hair to the side. You saw it in the promo pictures,
Yes.
and he did a lot of updos and things like that.
High hair to the other side.
The other. Oh, okay. Is that the look for season?
We're gonna flop it.
That will look like bookends this year, you and I.
She's going to be whipping her hair back and forward.
Okay, kids.
Okay, well, I got it in my mind. Okay, and don't hold me to this. I'm feeling a high ponytail. Don't hold me to
girl.
There's technological advances that are yet to be made. We're talking with NASA at the moment. Very excited, very excited. But the basic idea is ceramics.
I love it. We've had a real varied guest list on RuPaul What's the Tea with Michelle Visage. One of my favorites is T.S. Madison. She is so hilarious and so in your face, and she will break it down for an MF. Okay, you know. This is a story of her personal transformation and how she came into her persona.
At my desk job. Long hair, don't care.
The secretarial pool.
Yeah, sitting up there. Hi, thank you for calling AT&T. You know, just carrying on at work, child. I get up to,
Drinking your coffee.
Yes, girl. I get up to go on break. Okay? Get up to go on break. And in my cubicle, there's pictures of me in drag and all my other transgender friends. And, you know, while we out partying, I got pictures where I'm laid up in the laps with men and, you know, just having living a good old life, honey. Got a picture of you up there, honey, because, you know, you the icon. Like, yeah. Do you know, I'm over here like at the fountain getting some water. So a guy, Jamaican guy now, walks up to my desk and he looks. He's staring at it. He takes his hand and just tear the shit down.
Rips it all
Your
off the
stuff.
walls.
Do you have no... I was like... Because I'm a fighter. Okay? WWE.
She's a scrappy bitch.
I was like... Oh my... Did this man just do this to my desk? Like, what? So and he just tore it down, and I just ran over there. And I was like, why did you do that? And can I say what I need to say, what he told me? He told me, bitch, when you get a real pussy, then you speak to me.
Oh.
I was like, what? I almost had a complete stroke. Because I'm like, I'm about to beat this man. Like my mom used to beat me for not being ready for church on Sunday, and that was a whipping. And I'm looking at all my papers, all my stuff, all my things down here on the floor. He walked off into the break room
like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing. You know, this is the last time I worked on a job. Mm-hmm. I promise you. Mm-hmm. And he went to the break room. He opened up his little sandwich and it's all his little stuff, his little water. You know, like it was nothing. Like he just did a service to the world. I walked in that break room, honey.
In his mind, he probably did.
I picked up that table and flung that table, titties and everything. So now he was flabbergasted, like, yeah, bitch, I'm finna bang your ass up. Yeah. It's that time.
I cannot.
It's that time, honey. You get up from here right now and you show me that you're a man and I'm a woman or I am a queen. You feel like that I'm inferior to you because I'm this. Well, now we about to prove that, honey, with hand-to-hand combat.
So what
security
happened?
That brings new meaning to break time, doesn't it? Yes.
Break your ass.
So now security wants to come. Now security. Now it's just it's always now.
Yes. They weren't there when he was tearing your thing down. But
Now it's like this, and I'm going crazy in this place. I'm like, listen, he needs to be You people need to terminate him now because if I come back here to work, I'm coming back up here with a gang of queens like me.
He
And
violated your property.
I said I'm coming up here with a gang of queens, and we about to tear this building to pieces. You don't know.
You don't want it.
You do not want a day, honey, of rights. An activist of this time, honey. We about to tear this building to pieces. Okay. So, you know, they walked him out because he went to say, oh my God, I'm afraid for my life. I'm like, you better be. You better be, honey.
Yes.
You better be gone by the time I get out of that parking lot, honey. I promise you. Because I have already called my girls on speed dial. They might be out there on you.
Oh, if I can only have a picture of the gang of girls. That's what I'm
You know
stuck
they got
on
their
that.
rings on.
I love it.
So they let him go. Mind you, okay, I get back to work the next day. Okay, they transfer him to another department. They didn't terminate him.
Same building?
Right. Same building, but another
No.
department. I quit. I said, you know what? I can get paid by men, and I'm so sorry to say this. I can get paid more money by men, honey. I'd rather fight those men over my coins than sit up here and let these people disrespect me, all worrying about which bathroom I'm going to use because they was under the impression.
Oh, are we still doing that game?
Girl, but that was in back. This was.
Oh, that's true in the 90s. Okay.
Yeah, which bathroom are you going to use? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, because and I said, well, you're worried about the bathroom I'm going to use. You're not going to put me in the man's bathroom because I'm going to pull a stunt in there. I'm going to stand in front of the urinal. I'm going to pull my panties all the way down around my ankle. I'm going to pull my schlong out and stand right there and pee. And when a man walks in the bathroom, excuse me, honey, I'm just draining the lizard. Excuse me. A girl just got to do what she got to do, honey.
Yes.
You know, so I quit that. I quit that freaking job, and I was like, "That's it." And it was terrible. It was a bad thing for me because I worked the streets.
Yeah,
I worked the streets.
that's when it gets tough.
Yeah, it gets tough. And if we had time for me to tell you, I'm writing a book though.
Good.
But if we had time for me to sit here and tell you every single thing that happened to me on that street, like you'd be like, Maddie, how did you survive?
Right?
How did you survive?
Well, what was the prevailing factor? What was the one thing that you had? Because so many people don't survive that because of drugs or because of so many dangerous situations. Why do you think that you survived?
I think I've survived because I'm supposed to be here to do something for somebody else. I don't think that we understand that we live our lives for someone else. Just like you, Michelle, you live your life for your children. You do your things for your children. You know, even though, Ru, you do your things for yourself and you for, you know, you being happy and you like colors and all stuff, you don't know you're living your life for somebody else. Yeah. You've actually lived your life for me. You've lived it for me to be able to say, I can do it. You know, I see this. I don't care what nobody says, Ru. You've always been a trans woman to me. I don't give a damn what nobody.
Sure, I'll take it.
I can not argue that point.
I'll take
always
it.
been that to me. Even you've not fully done all. I don't know, honey, but you've always been.
She always been using a girl bathroom with me anyway.
When I seen that big hair and that big smile and all those clothes, and you didn't present yourself to me as a man. And I don't care if you out of drag, whatever.
He's so butch. What you talking about?
Well, shit, that's what they say about me too, girl.
But how did you get yourself off the streets? And what do you say to your girls that are still working the streets? And how?
Well, I got myself off of the streets by just, I had to tell myself, all right, because there are phases that you go through in your life, whether they're 5-year phases, 3-year phases. I had to say, okay, bitch, this is enough. Like, I can't do this no more. I'm keep running into these stupid, ignorant men. And during the 90s, it was either like, it's not like today. Today, you better have a PP.
Right.
Back then, it was like, if you have one, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. If you have a penis,
Back then they wanted the vagina. Today they
Really?
like the
They like the
Wait a
small.
with
minute,
something
I always
extra.
thought it was the opposite. I always thought that if a girl had the chop, she couldn't work because
No. See, on the street, you were playing as if you were playing like you were a woman. You know, like they'd
But
be
you
like,
weren't.
you weren't. You know what I'm saying? So we played dangerous games on the streets during those times. But times have changed because it's so many porch monkeys out there now, honey.
Porch monkeys.
Stop
Did
it!
you just
Stop
say
it!
porch?
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
There's so many clock monkeys working off that sidewalk.
Stop
girl,
it.
honey.
Stop
They
it.
need to step up so quick, girl.
So now they like the girls with something extra.
They like the girls with something extra, honey. And
No, I always thought it was that way though. I always said because if you were gonna go with a girl who had been snipped, then you could just go with just any woman.
Oh, yeah,
you
call
know?
call an escort. Why
Yeah.
are you going down to the Greyhound terminal?
Right,
Because
exactly.
you want the girl with something extra.
right, you want to ride the dog.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's right.
Hey, but you know, it came to a point where I was like, okay, Maddie, you've had enough situations, you've had enough near death experiences on this sidewalk or whatever, and I got messed up with silicone. I got silicone injections,
Free injected, yeah.
yeah, and it I got a couple of this. You know,
Girl, did you go to Priscilla Presley's person?
no, girl, I went to this other girl, honey. That you seen the girl that was on television with the big
Yes.
Yeah, I know her. Like,
Yeah.
that she's from Miami. I know her personally. You
Right.
know, I got a little work from her. I mean, she didn't really mess me up. It was a combination of me going from her to another person, whatever. When you get injections, you have to stick to one person.
Is that right?
Yes. Right.
Why? Because of what they use?
Girl, yes, girl, honey. You don't know what they mixing up.
And what happened? You got
Well, I got poisoned, you know, and I was in the hospital for a while, and I think that was God bringing me down, saying, "Girl, okay, enough is enough." Because, and plus, I was doing this for a no good man that was living in my house and using me, girl. We all go through a using situation.
Yeah.
and he
No good-
wanted you to have the hips.
Well, I thought that would keep him.
I see. Right.
I did things for him
When it's got
instead of
nothing to do
doing
with
it.
that,
right?
baby.
And I got all that body because I was a streetwalker, and honey, in Miami, if you ain't have no ass, you weren't stopping no car. 'Cause,
Amen.
baby, Miami girls was
Amen.
never known. I'm sorry to say this to you girls from Miami, but Miami girls was never known as the pretty girls, baby. It was all about the body because the body was gonna stop a car.
And mainly the booty.
Right.
the bootay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but doesn't Trina say, cute in the face, fat in the ass?
No, Trina says, cute in the face, slim in the waist, fat in the ass. Do you want to taste?
Yes,
Baby, I love me some Trina, honey.
Yes, Queen of Miami.
Yes, Trina. I love Trina, honey. I can quote you some Bible quotes from Trina, baby.
Oh my God, I love Trina too.
Yes,
I love
girl,
her.
honey.
So you got off the street because you had a little health issue
Yeah.
and decided, you know what, I'm gonna take
is a
this
sign.
further.
Yeah, it was a sign. It was a sign, and I met a girl. I met her. Actually, I went to Atlanta before, and I met a girl up there, and she said, I want you to take some pictures from my website. And I was like, okay, girl, because I had taken pictures for another website before, which was blacktgirls.com. Yeah.
Oh, I know it well. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the story of my life.
Yeah, so I took pictures for them or whatever, but the response, because I am a well-endowed girl. So, the response was like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have to, they can come to me. I don't have to walk down the sidewalk. All I got to do is unzip my panties.
Yeah.
Hi.
Right.
Hi. 200.
Yes. I
Some
love
dollar
that.
make you holler.
Yeah. So it went to that phase. And then, and after I met my homegirl in Atlanta now, shout out to T.S. Eve, tseve.com.
Hey, TSE girl.
Miss Eve, she said, let me show you something, girl. Let me show you something better than just the street and the this and that. Let me put you into the magazines and the books and let's get some professional pictures going on. Let me show you how to really make money.
Hey.
I was like, bitch, I'm all about making some money.
She a TS mother. Forget about drag mother. She a TS mother.
That was my TS mama right there, honey.
love
and
it.
she put me up and she showed me, and then she said, well, girl, you're not going to be a girl, honey, with that 5 o'clock shadow, darling. We're going to cut the makeup down, honey, and wear this hair out on your face. So she started taking me to get laser treatments.
Sure.
And, because from Miami, it's about body. It's not about face. Atlanta, it's about face and realness there in Atlanta. They go for, it's about you being a real girl.
Right.
And she was like, we're going to get this hair under control. We're going to get this, because girl, you got this African booty striker hair going on up here in your hair. We're going to get all of this stuff under control. When I finish repackaging you, you're going to be the product.
So you went through this real transformation and you started making money.
Yeah, I started making money. And then after that, she was like, well, it just went insane. I swear to God. It was, yes, I'm a product of her. Like, I swear.
Bless her
It
heart.
just went to, well, now, you know how you can make money in your sleep, right? I was like, doing what, girl? Tell me, what? She says, how about you have a www dot? I was like, a website? I've always thought about doing this,
Right.
And then she's very web savvy.
And yours is the real T.S. Madison?
No, can I say it?
Yes.
Mine is bigdickbitch.com.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
In case you didn't know.
So you need to pay to be a subscriber.
Yes, you got to subscribe to see all this, honey, baby.
Okay.
How much is a subscription?
It's $19.95 a month.
That's not much. You could.
It's not a lot for somebody who wants all
No.
that.
How much does that end up being a day?
Oh, well,
That's like It's $20.
Girl, I ain't no Sally Struthers. It's
Listen.
$20 a month. Okay.
Listen,
feed the child for no 5 cents a day.
Listen, I make over $150,000 a year just by subscription.
On What's the Tea, we tackle everything. No subject is taboo for us, unless it's going to, bring out the crazies, which we try to stay away from because it's a lose-lose situation. But one of my favorite guests was Latrice Royale, who is a favorite of all the girls we've had on RuPaul's Drag Race. Here she talks about her journey and her stay in prison, which was no picnic, as you can imagine, and the death of her mother. Here's Latrice Royale.
Well, I got so much out of being in that situation. I really got in touch with my inner strength and really tapped into my mother because everything that she instilled in me and all my worst fears were all happening at the same time. And I was just like, how do I get out of this and how do I come back from this? But all the things that she instilled in me, it just all came real back fresh, and I had a clear vision of everything and every move I wanted to make. It was very well thought out.
And your mother was with us during this whole process?
My mother was with us during this whole process. She passed right before my sentencing.
Right before?
Before my sentencing.
That's why she was with you in there.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Exactly.
Did you know that she was going to be transitioning before?
I didn't. Well, no.
Was it sudden?
No. This whole thing was very sudden. Well, no one knew where I was, and my brother was trying to find me, and he's an ex-Marine, so he did his Nancy Drew and got a hold of somebody who got a hold of somebody, and they found me in the jail because he was starting for every jail and hospital from Miami all the way up the coast of Florida. And they found me, and he got in touch with the commanding officer at the jail and was actually able to, and this is on a weekend. So this never happens. Number one, you never get anyone to talk to. And number two, for them to pull me out of my cell to let me talk on the phone never happens.
Right, and to talk on the phone to tell you that your mother had passed?
It's passing.
Is passing.
She was holding on for a week. The doctors had said she should have been gone, but she's holding on for some reason.
And they didn't let you go see her?
And no, because I was a flight risk because I had never reported, so I was considered a flight risk.
And so, did you get to speak with her?
She got to hear my voice
because she couldn't talk.
She couldn't talk. So my brother said, "I'm going to put the phone to her ear, and you talk to her. Don't tell her where you are. Just let her know where what you're doing, and all that kind of good stuff. And when you're done,
Yeah.
So that was kind of hard.
I'm sure you're forever changed by it.
Forever. I never knew that I had the strength that I had, and it's when they put me in the isolation booth after I got the news that my mother had finally passed and made the transition. I was in there about 45 minutes, and I cried, and I was doing my little thing and grieving, and then all of a sudden, just calm came over me, and I just felt so connected, and I just heard my mother say, "It's okay."
Right. Now, we have a lot of fabulous guests on What's the Tea, but I got to tell you, my favorite times is when it's just Michelle and I, and we're just doing what we normally do when we're together, whether we're being recorded or not. This is our relationship. This is what we're like. And we get deep. We go there. In fact, here's a clip where we discuss closure and closure in relationships. So take a listen. What would that closure look like? You write the script. What would it be like? He calls you up and says, "Hey, Michelle, this is so-and-so. I just wanted to say, the way it ended, I'm sorry for setting you on fire and everything." And
my closure I'd like it to be face to face.
Yeah.
So I can say and let him see what he did. I didn't even get a chance to say what he did to me, how he made me feel, what he did along the journey. He screwed me up, and I wanted him to know and see what it did, and then I'd be done with it.
Really, though? I mean,
I would be done with
for
it.
What? Okay. So you just said you would like for him to be in LA for some reason. He
Right.
said, "Hey, Michelle, I'm in LA.
I want to see you.
I need to see you. Meet me over at the Starbucks."
Which is not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
For you to see
Right.
him?
Not a good idea.
Okay.
Not a good idea. It would just be so volatile.
Okay. But you said you wanted that.
I would want that, but
it's
not
not a
a
good
good
idea.
idea. I would want that.
It reminds me of my nephew Scotty when he was a baby, when he was like 2 years old. He said, "I want some water." I said, "What? I'm busy." He says, "I want some water." And then I say, okay. I go over and pour him a glass of water and says, "Here." He says, I don't want that.
That's exactly what it is.
I would crack up laughing.
I'm saying that I would want it, but it's not a good idea. It's not smart.
But you're saying you want that closure.
I wanted the closure because I had closure with every other relationship. Even if it was fuck you, we're done. He just called me up and said, "I'm breaking up with you." And I'm like, "What? Well, I have tickets to go see Rent for your birthday."
Wait a minute. Didn't you have any clues before? You had some clues that this might be happening.
Yes, but it was on his terms, not mine.
Okay.
So it's more to do with my control issue than it does.
He calls you up and says, "I want to break up with you." You say, "I've got tickets to Rent."
I got tickets for Rent for your birthday. I said, "What are you doing? You can't listen to the therapist who thinks that we don't belong together."
Oh, was the therapist behind this?
Yes.
So you knew when he said, "Oh, I'm going to be seeing a therapist," you knew then that
he made me go to that therapist too.
So wait a minute.
Oh,
okay.
it gets so twisted?
You don't
even know.
No, it's becoming very clear because I think you got closure. You got closure before he even broke up with you.
Probably. But it was on his terms, not mine. I moved out when he told me he'd never marry me. Then I said, "Why am I here? I'm leaving."
Oh.
We stayed together, but I left.
Yeah. See, there was your closure.
I
right
know,
there. That was your closure.
but it's not because he said, "I'm breaking up with you. Your stuff is at the therapist's. Goodbye." That's what happened.
All your stuff was at the
The
therapist?
therapists.
Did you see the therapist when you picked up your stuff?
Yes, and do you know what he said to me? We had a session. Do you know what he said to me? Want to talk about morally unethical? He said, "You can't leave. I love you."
The therapist
And I
said
said,
that.
"What do you mean I love you?" He said, "If you leave and you decide to come back, my door won't be open to you." I said, Are you kidding me? I've been your patient 2 times a week for 3 years, and you tell him you're not going to be here for me? Because you love
and your
me.
boyfriend had the same therapist?
Correct.
Oh, my God.
He made me super I didn't know.
Yeah.
I went to what he told me I had to do. The therapist was in love with me. The therapist put shit in his head to break us up. This is why I never got closure.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. And who's supposed to be the one to tell people about stuff like this? You're a young woman.
Yeah.
Who
Nobody.
would it have
trusted
been?
him.
In an ideal world, would it have been your parents?
My mother, if she only knew the deceit that was going on, but she didn't know either. She should have said, she didn't know anything about therapy, but if she did, like I know, she would have said, "You should not be going to the same therapist."
Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
a good start.
But I'm just thinking about humans on this planet and how we're supposed to learn these things. And I don't think there is a set way. I think we've set it up to where the way you learn is through hard knocks.
That's it.
Through pain.
Yeah.
Through pain.
That was the greatest pain I've ever felt.
I'm sure it was.
To this day.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't want to bring that into my next relationship. And when I fell in love with my husband, who is amazing, and I adore him and so in love with him, but that's how it we met in Central Park, and that was it. Not
in the Rambles?
No, Rambles. I wish that would have been the best story ever.
It's an old joke. I'm sorry. Michelle and I have known each other for many years.
Gay section of Central Park.
Yeah, it used to be. I don't know if it still is. It's a gay section of Central Park where men used to go and meet other men.
Every section is the gay section of
I
Central Park.
I don't know. But the Rambles was a punchline for many years. And so I still
is.
Yeah.
We still do it. So that's what it is. And you're right. I don't know if what would getting me closure do? What would it do?
You know what? This is the thing. And I learned this. I learned from relationships. What you do for 2 weeks, and all it takes is 2 weeks, is the loved one who's out of your life. What you do is you pray, and I'm not religious, but I do pray. Am I wrong?
Spiritual.
Okay, but I pray, and I will pray for that person. I will say, "Dear God, lift so and so up high to receive your blessing. I release so and so to you." Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed these lovely moments from our podcast, What's the Tea? I got to tell you, 2015 is going to be even better. We are going to let you children have it. So, tell you what, we're going to take a little break right now, but when we come back, Michelle and I will teach you how to properly use shimmer. Shimmer. This episode is brought to you by Sharon Share-alike. Sharon Share-alike is the owner of boobsforqueens.com and Dragskins. Now, many of you are familiar with boobsforqueens.com because there was one season, I think it was season 3 on RuPaul's Drag Race, where it was the season of the boobsforqueens.com. Now, Boobs for Queens is the original silicone breastplate created in 1996 to give the illusion of real breast. They are amazing. You're going to be blown away by these because it really has the look and feel of real silicone breasts. I mean, you can have silicone breasts without having to have all that pesky surgery. I mean, the healing time alone. Think of what you save on healing time, And of course, they come in several different sizes, shapes, and colors. And honey, the feel of real, the look and the illusion of realness is yours at boobsforqueens.com. Now, Sharon Share-alike also has a company called Dragskins.com. Dragskins are a latex body from head to toe, latex, to look like a female body. It has a zipper in the back that makes it so easy to step into. All you need is a padded bra and some hip pads, and kaboom, you are a badonkadonk, okay? Dragskins, there's also a male Dragskins. Different shapes and sizes. You just got to go to dragskins.com. The other thing about the Dragskins thing is that if you don't want to shave, if you have a really manly body and you want to just say, boom, instant womana, go to Dragskins. Order your Dragskins, step into it, and step into the rest of your life, honey. I'm telling you, it's wild. It's been featured on, of course, on RuPaul's Drag Race, been featured on Ellen, all over the place, in music videos, everywhere. Go there. It would make a great gift, too. Also, if you're going to have a party, Christmas party, a family party, any kind of a party, you get yourself a pair of those silicone breastplates, and honey, watch every guest at your party freak and have a blast. Talk about selfies. You can have a selfie party with your breastplates, Amazing. Go to boobsforqueens.com, go to dragskins.com, and order yours today. So now I want to hear about this beauty storyline. You're talking about shimmer, which is one of my favorite things. But you know what? Most people don't do it right.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Most people, especially there's a certain age.
Women.
Yes, there's a certain age where you can't do shimmer.
Yeah, 25.
Yeah, well, there are certain places you can still put shimmer.
And you should.
And you should, but it's not in the places that most people think.
Look, I've seen, and I think I called Manila Luzon out on season 3 because too much shimmer, you start looking like C-3PO, and
right,
and you have to really use it with. And I'm pleading to the women out there, not so much the queens. I think the queens get it a lot more than the ladies do. But once you're a lady of a certain age, I'm not even exaggerating. Anybody over 25, and that's still a baby. Mm-hmm. But at 25, we start to see lines that weren't there before. That's why I'm saying this to ladies. When you put the shimmer in the wrong place, the lines come out more. So keep it off of under the eyes.
Right.
keep it strictly on like the top of the cheekbone,
Yep.
under the eyebrow.
But you know what? I don't even do it on the eyebrow anymore.
Do you
know,
not?
No, because you know what? Actually, Matthew, who does my makeup, he learned from, was it Mugler? From some, Gaultier, some big designer told him when he did makeup for them, do not put shimmer under the brow. Put it on the cheekbone. But he says to use a matte highlight under the brow, not a shimmer. You can put a shimmer in here, in the corner of the eye, the
Yes.
inner corner.
That makes it pop.
That makes it pop, but not under the brow because it ends up looking wet and shiny and greasy.
I think it depends. Especially on a biological woman, I think it depends. I'm not talking crazy shimmer like
Right.
that's it. I'm talking a very light,
Right.
Especially when you're doing a natural face, just
Sure.
it pops the eyebrows.
Yeah.
But I tend to use a matte anyway and go into the eyebrows with a concealer.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, the shimmer should be on the top of the cheekbones a little bit. If you know anything about contouring, down the center of your nose. If
Yeah.
you don't know about contouring, ladies, stay away from the shimmer on the top of your nose. A really good place a lot of ladies don't know about is the bow of the lip. The bow. Because what it does is it makes your lip look like it's turning up. Just a little bit right in the tip of your bow.
Grace Jones used to do an
Did she?
exaggerated
Did she?
version of
Oh, I
that.
love
Yes.
that.
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous.
Keep away from under your eyes. Keep
Is
away
there
from
a
the
product
forehead.
that you like? Because like he uses glitter on me from time to time, and I love it, especially for stage and everything. But that glitter is sticking around for the whole next week.
It does.
It is there.
I tend to not use glitter. If I do use glitter, it's for a really strong lip or a strong eye. I don't use it for shimmer. What I use for shimmer is always some kind of highlighting powder. Bare Essentials, believe it or not, has a really pretty candlelight, they call it, which is a really pretty shimmer. Any company has one. Dior, Ilamasqua, any Sugar Pill has some great ones. They all have. The thing is with shimmer, you have to go with what works. MAC has some great liquid shimmers that I'll use on top. I literally, and I'm not even exaggerating, might have between 20 and 30 shimmers.
Oh my goodness!
So it depends on what I'm feeling at that time.
Do you know that I have a shimmer from that I still have from the 80s? I swear to you. No
Because
lie.
that's how little you need.
That's how little you need. It's. Do you remember Madeline? I think it was Madeline Mono, something like this. But I do remember that Mono was the best I've ever had. By the way, just FYI. But
amen.
Yeah. But this was it was Madeline Mono or something like that. I still have it. It was so.
I still have
gorgeous.
Face Stockholm products. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
And they had
they're
great
out of
products.
business.
I think they've morphed into something else.
Right.
I'm not sure if they're out of business, but there's so many great products out there, you guys, even for queens. And I'm talking about real girl type of products here, but they'll work on any face,
Yeah, they will.
boy face or girl face.
Yeah.
It's just a pure shimmer. You want to put, like, sometimes I'll use a cream, sometimes I'll use a liquid. It really depends.
Oh, so now you really are talking about some biological women.
I'll
'Cause-
just say it.
Yeah, but let me just tell you now. I don't know if I've told you my trick for cleavage with shimmer. I used MAC has something called bronze gold. It's a
powder.
It's a powder.
Yes.
and it is a what is that? It's just like it's not glitter. It's a
shimmer.
It is a shimmer.
Yeah.
He draws a champagne glass on my chest. Now, of course, I do wear a push-up bra, and I do,
Have Lady Foot Locker.
I have Lady Foot Locker socks in my push-up bra, and because men have pectoral muscles,
Right.
I end up getting these huge knockers.
Yes, you
huge
do.
knockers. Yeah, I could put somebody's eyes out with these.
You
things.
could.
Yeah, but he emphasizes it with this shimmer. Put the push-up bra on, and then he draws what looks like a champagne glass in the middle of my chest. Right? Can you visualize?
I can.
A champagne glass.
Or even a martini glass, I think you
That's
mean.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Take all the champagne back.
Take it away and give us a martini.
A martini
on the
glass.
rocks.
Exactly.
Only no olives.
So, that's why they pay you the big bucks, Michelle.
That's why.
Because you're smart. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
I knew I had you.
Yeah. He paints that on my chest, and it creates the illusion of the biggest titties.
Right. So why
on
did I
earth.
go through all that surgery when I could have done
You
that?
I could have had a V8.
Okay.
Yes.
I could have went to Mac and had a VA.
Yeah, because you've
Instead of
had 3 boob jobs.
I've had 3.
3 boob jobs.
3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because they weren't big enough. And then the second set, I nursed my kids and one was leaking anyway. So I was like, while you're in there, just take it up a notch.
Yeah. Are you keeping tabs on how many boob jobs Pamela Anderson has
She's
had?
like on 7.
She's on 7.
I think she's on 6 or 7.
Wow.
Something
'Cause
like that.
Seems like she's like a large C now.
Well, she went big. She said she was taking them out, but she wasn't.
Right.
What she did was went from like a G to like a C. But I feel like they've gone up again after she did that.
Yeah, but she's gone up, down, up,
That's
down.
what I'm saying.
I saw pictures of her last week, and they look like a large C or a
So
small
she went down
D.
and stayed down.
Yeah.
I go through these moments of, because our old trainer Voltage took hers out recently.
What she did?
She took them out.
Wait a minute. Back up.
She took them.
High voltage. What was her line? Energy up. Energy up.
Woo!
She took them out
just recently, like a month ago.
Why?
She said she was so sick of them deflating and this and that.
Deflating? You mean
I
they
guess
were
she had
leaking?
issues with them. Mine leaked too, and I had the saline. They leaked.
What did she do? She put something in there?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
I can't imagine
Well,
voltage.
I think mine would just flop in the wind if I didn't have anything in.
Yeah, because she wanted the Barbie doll breasts, and that's
she had
what
them.
she had.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now, if y'all are listening and you're about to Google what it looks like when you take breast implants out, it's exactly what you think it is.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's a deflated, wrinkly, crepey balloon.
Yeah.
And I think I'll do that one day. Just not yet.
I'm going to New York next week. I think I'll have to call her up just so I can see her.
Yeah, you
boobs.
should. You got to go see them.
I want to see what she's done.
She wears a really tight, like, bra, and you still have skin.
Yeah.
So she looks like she has something. They're just not. She had rocks.
Yeah, she did. She had, and that's what she wanted.
Yeah, no, that was her thing.
Unapologetically, she had the Barbie doll breast. But if you don't want to go through surgery and you want to
do the
have
shimmer.
a big knockers like Mama Ru has,
Yes.
you get yourself a push-up bra.
And-
you put some Lady Foot Locker socks in there, rolled up really tight, really tight. They're very hard, you know. And then you push
They go
that skin
under
up.
the boob.
They go under the boob
To push the skin up.
Push that skin up, and then you paint that martini glass in that gold shimmer from MAC. Now I'm brown skin, so I like the gold bronze. But if you do another highlight that's sort of like a pink highlight, depending on your skin tone.
I use a golden also, and I like leaning more towards champagne than I
Yeah.
do bronze because I'm
Right.
light.
Yeah.
But you can go to any place. You can go to MAC. You can go to Wet and Wild Child.
Yeah.
You can go CVS. You can go to Dwayne Reed.
Yeah.
Everybody has a shimmer. You don't want a bronzer. It's literally a shimmer. And usually they do come with some kind of a bronzer or a color attached.
Right.
So you go with the ones, like, that's why I like the Bare Essentials one, because Candlelight, I think, and Too Faced has one. Everybody
Is
has
it
one.
loose? Is it a loose
No,
powder?
it's a pressed powder.
A pressed powder.
MAC is the loose one.
Mine is loose.
And
yeah.
you know what I do? I use that. I mix it in with lotion, and I use it on my skin.
Oh.
And it's a really beautiful body bronzer.
That's nice.
For more
but that's for
coverage.
very natural looks.
No,
See,
no.
Nothing about mine thing is natural.
That coverage will go strong. The natural stuff I'm talking about for ladies are going to be the pancake stick with the shimmer,
yeah.
because you want to put that on regular skin. You don't want to put that on skin
Yeah.
with blush on it.
Oh, the pizza's here.
Yes. Thank God I've been
All right,
waiting.
So there's our come on in.
There's our beauty tip. That's a wrap.
Yeah, that's a wrap. So till the next time.
Yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen? And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.